Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to Heirs to Skull Crag, the prepackaged adventure that came with unlimited adventures. It appears that some more vampires are coming to attack us. As the party and their allies stand paralyzed by evil sorcery, one of the intruders begins to speak in a harsh, malevolent croak. The cub has failed us, but no matter. We have had ample time to reach our full strength. I think you will find the arms of the so-called Road Warden are of little use against the true masters of Skull Crag. Did I forget to introduce us? I am Kulzand, and my consort is Madroka. We are here to reclaim our home from the Vandals who drove us out some years ago. There is no rush to leave, though. I hope that many of you will be staying to dinner. To dinner? Shouldn't that be for dinner? And for some festivities the festivities may linger for days. Kulzand bows slightly and gestures to his consort, who steps forward and begins making mystic gestures as she speaks softly to the empty air in a sweet, gentle voice, belied by the corrupt aura surrounding her. Vidruan, dear, you have not been dismissed. Please return at once. There is more business for your attention. Well, I suppose that might be why we didn't get any treasure. As she speaks, a mist coalesces in front of her. Suddenly, Vidruan stands before Madroka, clothed in shadow. He bows and tries to speak, but he cannot form words. Madroka continues speaking. Take up the arms of the Road Warden and slay your former kinfolk and their lackeys. This seems to be a fitting way for you to redeem your recent failure. The arms levitate through the air to Vidruan, who grasps the weapons and shield as the helm settles onto his head. He turns and shuffles toward his family on leaden legs, as Kulzand and Madroka stand impassively behind him. Suddenly, Lunat Badufe shrieks, "No!" and gasps out a spell before collapsing to the floor. As she falls, the arms fly away from Vidruan, and the party finds itself free of the terrible paralysis. The battle is joined! That's a little bit railroady game. Oh, hey! Look at all the goddamn Mobats again. Alright, so Kulzand, Madroka. Madroka has a quarterstaff. Kulzand has a longsword. And Vidruan has a longsword. And there are a crap ton of bats. I could... you know what? Silence 15-foot radius. Damn it. Well, oh, damn. I'm out of fireballs. What do I have? Nope. Nope. Yes! Ah, delayed blast fireball. So good. Okay, they have all taken damage. Fantastic. Alright, what do you still have? I suppose I could do them. Well, let's work on the Mobats, I guess, with those spells. Okay, good. Dazzler is unaffected. She's already moved. Damn it. Let's see, 27, 32, 25. It's probably not going to affect any of them. Let's see if we can take out some of these Mobats here. That worked on Vidruan. Okay. Well, we can see what you have. You've got a mace, banded mail, shield, helm, ring, and gauntlets. And spell-wise, you have cause light wounds and cause serious wounds. Seriously? come on. Wait, did she get drained? I think she did. Let's see. Well, I guess we'll just do a cause light wounds. It might hit some of my people. Probably will, actually. You know what? Abort that spell. $21.18. Let's go after... Oh, come on! Once again. There we go. Don't care about that. Yes! That did not work. Magic Missile. Let's target you since multiple people aren't around you. And Magic Missile. There we go. Alright, come on. Try Dispel Magic again. That's fine. Don't care. There we go. Okay. All done. Found treasure. Didn't take too much damage, actually. Some money. Quite a few things. Let's actually go ahead and detect magic just to make sure. Yep, all of it is magical, of course. Start with the rings. You're overloaded. The cloak. Bracers. Just start by taking everything that we can. There we go. Luna Bidoufe rises from the floor and again offers succor to the party. Succor, whatever. Whole party is healed. Oh. That included restoration on her. Okay, that works. There's a great celebration and merriment as the party realizes that Skull Crag has been saved. Totally dancing to this. As Calithria, Dasmalar, and Yamandra look on, Sir Dudiok stows the arms away for safekeeping. As the revelers disperse, Morudel approaches the party and says, "We have much to discuss. Meet me in my quarters after you have rested and refreshed yourselves." Morudel departs, leaving the great hall to the groups of servants cleaning up and repairing the damage wrought in the climactic struggle. The next day, the party strolls up to the Road Warden's suite to see Morudel. But I wanted to rest and train. Okay, not there. Morudel is here, accompanied by Calithria, Dasmalar, Yamandra, Sir Dudiox, and Lunit Bidoufe. He greets the party effusively and then begins a more serious speech.
My children, my advisors, and I have been discussing the future of Skull Crag. Our conversations have gone around in circles, but they have returned to one salient observation. Not one of my surviving children has the right combination of honor, wisdom, and courage to rule Skull Crag well for a long duration. They are all good and noble offspring, but they are not well suited to this task. We are all in agreement, though, that in this room are those who, through their bravery and loyalty and sacrifice, have demonstrated that they are well suited to succeed Arlen Starbrow as Road Warden. I refer to you, dear friends. We are all greatly indebted to you, and we feel that it is a fitting honor for the best of your number to serve as Road Warden. Will one of those among you agree to serve faithfully as Road Warden, to defend Skull Crag, and to faithfully protect the merchants and travelers who journey through the Dragonjaw Mountains?
No! No! Mordell looks at Sir Dudiox and Lunat Bedufe and says,
Alas, I guess we'll leave the fate of Skull Crag in your hands then. I am eager to return to my kin in Marsember, and I'm sure the children have their own plans. Do send word when you find another Road Warden. I will be most curious to hear what noble soul you find to bear the arms. This keep is in for some interesting times, and I, for one, intend to miss them. Farewell, bold adventurers. May you brighten souls throughout the realms, as you have done here in Skull Crag.
Oh, I don't even get an opportunity to, Oh, man. I wanted to see what goodies we got. And I should have saved it there. Oh, I'd have to go through all those battles again. Well, what we can do, I was kind of going to do this anyway, is take a look at some of these, which one is it? Keep Endgame. Alright, so this is the actual, modification. Okay, nope. Is it... Probably this one. Nope. Okay, it is not this map then. I'm pretty sure it's these rooms up here. Oh, keep game one. There we go. Let's see. Okay, so let's see what would have happened. Okay, then it goes to this one. When one of those serve you, quest fails upon rejection, quest completed upon acceptance. On yes, goes to quest 6. Chain on accept, change on reject. So it goes to this text statement. Chain event utilities, and this is where it kicks us out. Yeah, exit play now. Alright, if we go back up here. Who tries? Who would become the Road Warden? Check always succeeds. Okay, I think that's I think that's not actually a check. Yeah, there's no fail. So text statement. So Dudiox presents the arms of the Road Warden, and Lunat Bidoufe performs the rituals to make. This means selected character. That'll insert the selected character's name. The new Road Warden. Cheers echo throughout the keep as word spreads of the events. And then it goes to a text statement. Mordell bids the party farewell, saying, incidentally, you can see that by putting this in, putting the comma here, unselecting must press return, and then going to one where you must press return and it's highlighted, you can have the highlighted text. And that took me a little while to figure out how to do. I probably had to go into this and look at these events back when I was a kid.
Many thanks for all you have done for Skull Crag. I am departing now, for I long to return to my kinfolk in Marsember by the sea.
Then it goes to a text statement. Calithria thanks the party for its service, saying, I must depart now, for I seek guidance as I delve deeper into the divine mysteries. May fortune smile upon all of your days. I mean, we wanted to go adventuring. We didn't want to be, saddled here. Dasmalar wishes the party well and remarks what a relief it is not to be responsible for a hold full of ignorant louts. Then wanders off, his pockets stuffed with curios liberated from around the keep. And then we get... Ymandra also bids the party farewell, saying, It'll be mighty boring around here now that our evil foes are defeated. I'm off to find a good use for my sword. Keep your blades sharp and noses clean. See, I honestly thought that if you said no, then the 3 would be the Road Warden, rather than, just a single one. Text statement. Mysterious stranger appears and remarks. Yeah, Elminster.
Ye have done well, as I kenned you would. Your adventure here is complete, but many new adventures await ye throughout the Forgotten Realms.
And then utilities, and exit play now. Okay. So, either way, the game would end, and one of your characters would be the Road Warden, saddled with the duty of having to, do all that stuff. Okay, so let's go ahead and leave. If we go to the monster editor... Where are... Well, we can see what people had. Dasmalar... Party gets 2,000 experience points when the monster is killed. Now, I'm not sure what this morale thing means, because this is not normal AD&D morale. 0 to 50. It should be 0 to 20. So I don't know how that works out. So he had a longsword +3, elven chain +3, a cloak of displacement, dart of the hornet's nest, potion of speed, and a ring of cold resistance. I think there was a ring of cold resistance that I could have found, and I missed it. That could totally be Elminster. Here's Sir Dudiox, lawful good fighter. Longsword +2, plate mail +1, helm +2, a shield +2, and a cloak. The road guards had halberd mail, halberd, banded mail, and boots, non-magical boots. Do not recreate NPC. Short sword +2, banded mail +2, helm +2, sling +2, which I think we saw all that. So our Dariel, Ymandra, 200 sword +3, plate mail +3, helm +3, boots of speed, and a javelin of lightning. And I don't know why that didn't turn into a lightning bolt. The weapon might be bugged. It's possible. I don't know. I never really used it much. Calithria had Mace +3, Banded Mail +3, Shield +3, Helm +2, Ring of Protection +3, which of course doesn't work with that armor, and Gauntlets of Ogre Power. And now let's see if we can find... Ah, here we go. I don't know if... Karamish was the guy that we fought when we got Mordale back, I think. So let's see. Coolzond. Age 1200. That amuses me. 1892 strength. Fighter level 14. Turned as a lich. Got 8,000 experience points. Immune to poison, death. Not immune to Vorpal swords, interestingly enough. Not that there were Vorpal swords in this module as far as I know. He had a longsword +4, banded mail +4, shield +4, and a ring of protection +4. Mordroka had also 1,200 years old. Quarterstaff +4, Cloak of Protection +4, Bracers AC 2, Ring of Protection +4. All of those would have been very nice. And Vidruond. Longsword +3, Chainmail +3, Shield +3, Helm +3, and a Ring of Fire Resistance. Alright, so that is what, pardon me, those foes had. And you can go through and, you know, change out the enemies and stuff like that. You can see all the different enemies that are in the game. I believe... Let's actually go down this way. I believe all three of these... Well... I believe Vidruond is a default enemy. I believe these three are not. I could hit default. Now let's go ahead and create a new design. Test. Okay. Don't really care. Monster editor. Yeah. So, Vampire Lord, Vampire Priest, Vampiress, and then Vidruond. Now, they may end up functionally being the same, just with a different name, and it looks like they are, in fact, functionally the same with a different name. So, let's see. Not sure about... Yeah, all of these characters are still the same. Tornali, Ardariel, Sir Dudiox. They're all defaults. If you wanted to, you know, create a new NPC using this icon, you could do Edit, Recreate NPC, yes. You put in the experience points. And then you basically create the NPC exactly as if you were creating a regular party member, a PC. So we'll just, you know, go with all that. Now, of course, what that means is that you can't actually have a monster, quote-unquote, NPC, which is interesting because... Dragonbait shows up as a race monster. So it would be impossible to create a new Dragonbait without... I mean, you can create the NPC and then go back in and edit it with, you know, an external tool, like I did with UGE. You can do that, but you can't do that by default. If you create a new NPC, you have to follow the, you know, the character creation methods, which is kind of weird. It's like, you know, it would be impossible to create an NPC who was functionally the same as the Vampiress. Let's see. I wonder. Now let's copying from there. Okay, let's see. Copy. Okay. I probably realized this way back when, but you could create the character this way, you know, using the monster editor, and then copy it to the NPC. In fact, let's try that. Copy from test. Okay, yeah, you could do it that way. I did not realize that. That's good to know. So you can take a look at all the enemies that show up by default. You know, they have most of the enemies that were in, like, most of the normal enemies that were in Pools of Darkness. Although it is missing one Rakshasa. In fact, I think this Rakshasa here was not the actual Rakshasa. I think that's like the... I think that's the Raja icon, and I think that's the Rook icon. But I might be misremembering. And it does have some unique ones. The asterisk incidentally means a more difficult enemy. I can't remember exactly what it means beyond that. But yeah, it's got a fair few enemies. Some, like this kobold icon, is unique. Was created for the game. You know, whereas of course the Iron Golem, the Hydra, and stuff like that. Whereas these hobgoblins are for the game, but most of these other ones were from previous games in the Gold Box series. Storm Giant, of course, being from Curse of the Azure Bonds. Updated for a higher color palette, but it's still, like, the clothing looks off to me. Strength is only 20? It's weird. And it doesn't actually have most of the, like, the mages. It doesn't have the Cloud Giant Mage, the Cloud Giant Shaman, the Fire Giant Mage, the Fire Giant Shaman. I think there was a Fire Giant Shaman. There were, of course, never any other Frost Giants. But it does have the Hill Giant Shaman. And of course, you're limited by the number of enemies that are in this list. And you can never... like, the ones with the asterisk by them, they'll never be changed. They'll always have an asterisk by them. And you can never replace an NPC, which has the hashtag, the £, with a regular monster. So you are limited in the total number of enemies that you can have in the game. We can take a quick look at the art gallery. Some of these you can replace. You can rename these, but you cannot replace these by default. You can with some outside tools. Same thing with the wall sets. You can replace these with outside tools, but you cannot replace them with anything from, you know, something that you've created yourself within the game itself. Let's see. Same thing again with these. That, of course, is the Abyss from Dark Queen of Krynn. Kind of weird that they have that. And one thing that I will point out, that where the Buck Rogers games, you could modify the terrain to a certain extent with heavy weapons fire. You know, if you launched a rocket and a tree was in that blast radius, the tree would then change to be burned. That's not in this game, unfortunately, which is unfortunate. So all of those would need to be modified with external tools. Now, these you can. So these are the overland maps. They're functionally the same as big pictures, but they're used for overland maps. You got the Moonsea Realms, Southern Xo, which I think is a misspelling, and also this is flipped. It should be flipped around the other way. I don't know why it's like that. And there's no northern part. You got the Dale Lands, which is updated from Curse of the Azure Bonds. The Web Realm from Pools of Darkness. And Western Cormyr, which is new and introduced for this game. And you can see that most of the, you know, the castle icons and everything like that are from either this one, like with that, or the Moonsea Realms. You know, with that one and stuff like that. Those are the maps you can, of course, import, in which case it would pull up this, and you have to put the images either in LBM or PCX format, which are very old formats. We've got big pictures of Walking Forest, the White Worm, Tower 5, Dread Gate, Flan Deluge, Mayday Gold 1, Sorcery Duel, Sword versus Staff, and back to the beginning. And of course you can import new images here. Combat icons. It'll go through all the combat icons. You got the ready icon and the action icon. And you can of course import in with those. We've got the sprites. Now, some of these, I think, are from other games, other SSI games. Let me see if I recall the one in particular. That's new. Doesn't look very good, in my opinion, the Kobold. The Shambling Mound doesn't look very good either, in my opinion. Neither does the White. Many of these are from Pools of Darkness or Dark Queen of Krynn, of course. And that goes back to the beginning. So maybe not. Maybe I was misremembering. But you can, of course, import new ones for this that art as well. And then you got the regular pictures. You got a picture for the Bits of Moander, but you don't actually have Bits of Moander in the game. You can see that this one is slightly animated. I'm not sure if you can actually import animated ones. I know you can import using the LBM format. Like, I don't think you can do this one. And you can see that it also goes outside of the borders. You might be able to do that with third-party tools, but I don't think you can do that by default. Where's one that's just a color cycling? Rather than actual animation. I'm pretty sure there is one. And you can see that a lot of these are scans from actual TSR artwork. And as I mentioned early on, there was a pretty interesting element to the license for the game, where you could scan any artwork by the owner of Dungeons & Dragons and import it into the game, and you were free to do so. So any TSR artwork that you had, you could scan and import it into the game, like this. And of course, once Wizards of the Coast came out, bought TSR, the same thing applied to them. You could scan any Magic card, for example, and import it into the game. pretty sure there are some... Again, you got a Nalfeshni Tanari, and yet there's no Nalfeshni combat icon. Of course, you don't have the Maralith, the Glabrazu, or the Balor combat icons either. Oh yeah, because I renamed Calithriad a Bugbear. I could have sworn that there was some color cycle ones in here. Maybe not. So there's a lot more images than just the ones that apply to the characters. I don't even know where they got that name. Like, you've got Yagerda and Sulagia from Savage Frontier games. And Bjorn. It feels really weird that they put Captain Daenor in the game from Dark Queen of Krynn, and they've got his, the NPC, and yet he's Krynn. He's from Krynn. There's Dragonbait, of course. You got a bunch of icon, portraits from various different games. Unfortunately, one of the problems is, like, when you use this portrait with this portrait, they kind of don't match, Because this one is clearly a scan, and this is clearly hand-drawn, but it's also very different from, the portraits that were from the Savage Frontier games. Although that scan looks really good. A lot better than some of the others, probably because it's so close up. Some of them kind of need a little bit of work, in my opinion. You got Lysian from Dark Queen of Krynn, even. And then you got the various towns. You can use these for that, one-picture menu town that we had in Heirs to Skull Crag. There's a bunch of different nice ones. Okay, well, this one is animated and has the color cycling. I believe using the LBM format, you could do this color cycling where the oranges and reds change color. You could do that for, like, a fire thing. But I'm not sure that you could ever get the animated images done. This one always, I always found this one kind of funny. You've got a very definite purple tint to this one, and then not to this one, with the explosion. And that's a new camping picture as well, so that you're not camping in front of a tree inside the inn, for example. And there's just a... Oh yeah, this would be the classic color cycling one. And this one too. And those are the images. So, those are, some of the basic details. I guess we can go into the game settings. You can start, choose where you start your game, entry point, starting equipment. You've got none, poor, modest, average, prosperous, +1, +2, +3, and +4. Heirs to Skull Crag had +1, so you saw what that started with. Prosperous would be like the warriors would have plate armor and stuff like that. Average, I think it'd be like banded armor. Modest would probably be chain. I think poor might be scale. And then, of course, there's the flat-out none. And you can select how many platinum pieces you start with, the experience points you start with. You can put in a password protection if you share this with someone else and you don't want them to be able to jump in and see stuff. You can put a password on it. Of course, it's really easy to strip that out. There are tools for that. Keys and special inventory. That INV button that we had over on the far right corner. This would be what you'd see: brass, iron, gold, silver, copper, bronze, steel, wood. You can rename them. Other special inventory items. And they function much the same as the quest things, which are hidden, in that they serve as quest icons. You can just rename them, and that's about it. One downside, I think, is that you cannot go to event placement, place. You got a whole bunch of different types of events that you can do. Let's go to the quest. So you can choose your quest, and you've got. So you see that the keys and the items all count as quests. What I don't like is that you can't rename the quests. You have up to 44 of them. You can't rename them. This is definitely the type of thing that you wouldn't want to have, like a piece of paper that you're making notes on. You have quest 1, and you write down that quest 1 is for, saving so-and-so, that kind of thing. And you can't rename them, which is kind of annoying. Would make it much easier for remembering what the hell you want to do. And it has some, basic picture default text, that sort of thing, which you can change. And some of these events will have a little help section, which is pretty handy. And then you can chain to new events. And you can have some pretty long chains. If you go to, let's see, the text of the statement. You can see that event 1 used, 99 free. You can have a total of 100 events on a map. I don't know what the character count is, but it'll give you a running limit of how much text you have left. So this is one of the reasons why there were so many different Skull Crag Keep maps in Heirs to Skull Crag, because they were running out of events and running out of text. Let's see. Global info. This is where you can select area view. You can change the height and width. 16 by 16 is the default, but I think you could get them up to... well, I think you're limited on the total number of squares. So you could have something, I think, as large as like 24 by 24. If you made it 20 by something else, you could make it like 20 by 30. I think you could get it something like 10 by 50 or something like that. If you make it really narrow, you can make it really long, which could be pretty handy. Summon monster, you can choose what monster summoning summons. You can name it. Zones. There's a whole bunch of stuff. I've been meaning to go through and do kind of a tutorial thing, but that's like been a long time that I've been meaning to, and I just have not done so. It would be a lot of work, and I'm not sure how interesting it would really be, but for now, this is just a quick little overview. It was intended to pad out the episode, and I kind of went long. So that's just a quick overview of what the bare basics of the game of the module design looks like for UA. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next Let's Play. See you then, everyone.